I'm George Wrighster. He's Ralph Amsden, and this is the College Football Apostles presented by the Unafraid Show. We got a lot of great things for you in this week 3 of college football. Now, the slate doesn't look that great, but the news, you do not want to miss any of the news in this show because it is a lot. But you guys can always shoot us an email. I'm mad, IMMAD at unafraidshow.com. You can always shoot it to us and everything in between. Or hit us up on Twitter at George Wrighster, at Ralph Amsden, at CFB Apostles, or at Unafraid Show. So you guys can always do that. But we want to start today with I got, Ralph. I got by a reporter, and I pride myself on when I immediately see something on Twitter. I do not react immediately. I go to that account and make sure it's not like Adam Schefter spelled incorrectly, Pete Themel, that it's not, you know what I mean? Like something close. I intentionally do that. So I do not get got. And I laugh when other people got. But I got today over a Cam Rising tweet. And the dude said that Cam Rising is going to be out 6 to 8 weeks with a lacerated hand. And how believable does that sound, first of all? And it was a reputable reporter who because I didn't follow the account. And then I went to the guys so it was a reputable account that quote tweeted it, which put it in my feed. So then I went to the original guy's feed, and it was like reporter at some station. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I briefly did a quick scan of his account, looked like a legit account. So I quote tweeted it and said, damn, Cam Rising can't catch a break, blah, blah, blah. And then in his tweet, he also said that they're preparing to apply for a medical red shirt again. And I was like, damn, dude, this kid can't catch a break. I'm feeling bad about myself. And then all of a sudden, I look back like 10 minutes later on my Twitter. Rob Littall is hitting me. Everybody, it's a fake. It's a fake. I'm like, ah! They got you, boy, man. They got me. So, and then I saw the tweet from Brett McMurphy. And he said that Cam Rising, Utah quarterback, that he's going to be out this week, but he's expected to play next week. And then I thought, I don't believe you. I don't believe you, Utah, because Utah lied about him being hurt all last year. And, he'll be back next week. He was warming up in pregame and all. And, man, the dude missed literally the entire year, Ralph. So I will be happy when we get when the SEC puts out this season they're putting out injury reports. I cannot wait for all of college football to adopt this.
That was the funniest part about you getting got is like, and we know this from 4 years of the Pac-12 Apostles podcast, Utah notorious liars. Just absolute liars. Like, they put Cam Rising in such a bad position last year, acting like he could come back at any time. Then you find out he's got like the Sean Livingston every ligament in my body tore injury. What are we talking about him being probable to play Cal or something like that?
He was probable to walk up the stairs. He was probable to do some legitimate rehab.
Yeah, probable to get rejected for insurance later in life. Like, he's not. So, like, the fact that anybody would have had the scoop is very funny to me. And I almost wonder if Utah's like, all right, this is out of hand. We got to go to Brett McMurphy and be like, hey, he might play next week. And I'm wondering was that the key to this thing the entire time? Just lie. Next time a Utah player gets hurt, if Dorian Singer stubs his toe, you got to tweet that he's out for the season. Just do it and just say source.
Then we'll get a legitimate answer. Wait,
because then you backed him into.
We gotta wait till next week, because if Cam Rising doesn't play next week, Brett McMurphy's gonna be pissed, bro. And then then we go get some real. And then there's gonna be no more protecting Utah. It's gonna be like, okay, cool, I'm smashing the button.
You're gonna see Brett McMurphy hit retweet on the like Morgan Scally said the N-word stories out of nowhere.
So, and this is clearly coming from the top with Kyle Whittingham, dude that I like a lot. But everybody's got their flaws, baby, and this is his fatal flaw. This is his toxic trait.
I do want to. I would love to be at Morgan Scally's introductory press conference, perhaps this off season when they're introducing him as the next head coach of Utah. I would love to just be. I'm not going to get invited now because I say this out loud, but I would like to just raise my hand and be like, "Excuse me, sir, do you plan on lying like your old boss? Are you also going to be a liar when it comes to injuries?" And just put him in the yes or no situation. Um, because yeah, and I get like when you're a college and you're like, hey, it's none of your business. I get that, but the whole thing of like week to week, Utah wanted to make sure people were preparing for if Cam Rising was going to have a Willis Reed moment,
Yeah, yeah, no,
and then
that's
Cam Rising had to answer some questions because he's got NIL money, he's got sponsors,
yep,
and you can't tell the sponsors, you can't tell the sponsors the truth because they're going to leak it
yep.
or the money's not going to come in. So now you're lying to corporate sponsors for a competitive, and it starts to mess with the reputation of the player, and the money. So I feel bad for Cam Rising to be even be in this situation again. He can't control it. I don't think he's an injury prone guy. That one, don't clip that because he is injury prone, obviously, but I don't think it's like running into the sideline and breaking a finger. That's not like a thing
No,
where
that's just
you're
bad
like,
luck, bro. He just
yeah, bad luck,
no.
exactly.
Okay, so the 48 laws of power, the book says, don't hang out with people with bad luck. So don't hang out with Cam Rising because you might get hurt too. Speaking of getting hurt though, Shilo Sanders, Deion Sanders' son, broke his arm in the Nebraska game, and there was so much irony in this game because on one hand, like at the coin toss. So there's a video of him at the coin toss talking trash. Like, bro, we about to smash y'all ass. Blah, blah, blah. In the coin toss. What was that first drive? He's out. Broken arm. He gets run over by Dowell, former Oregon running back who's over at Nebraska now. He made the tackle, but he hurt his arm in the process. Mind you, he did not lay on the ground, none of that. Got up, walked himself off the field and everything. He wasn't walking like a dude like with a broken arm. It was like he was, you know. So he had to have surgery for it. And then after the game, the Nebraska folks were dancing to Shador Sanders' perfect timing. Is this fair or foul, Ralph?
I mean, you put it out there. You put your song out there. I think it's fair. It's just it feels like Colorado keeps setting itself up for these things. Like there's a reason most teams don't do this. You don't think every quarterback in the country wants to put a song out? Like
See,
of course they do. Do you,
I
you
don't
you
mind
don't
the
think
song.
every
I don't mind the song. It's just you can't like if you see it's fair to me, especially the locker room thing. Like yes, people troll in the locker room all the time after wins. But the thing is that it's the excessive shit talking really that causes it. Because you can put out your song and people, yeah, they're gonna do it, but they're gonna be extra when you're bad. Like Colorado is not a elite football team. In fact, we're not even sure if they're a good football team right now. So if you're not a good football team and it seems and you're doing all this ancillary stuff, then yes, people are going to troll you.
Yeah, it's like they're following MMA rules. Like Conor McGregor's 3-5 in his last 8 professional fights, but the talking makes him money. So maybe there's some of that philosophy there. But Caleb Williams did this. He put F Utah on his nails and then they ran through his face. That's the there's a reason that it's not encouraged by most coaches. like bulletin board materials not encouraged by both coaches. And the interesting thing is or Colorado is always hyper aware enough to anytime somebody else gives them bulletin board material, they're like, "Oh, you messed up." So this week, Colorado State's
Oh, bro,
uh,
they giving them all. They are Colorado State between Torrey Horton, their wide receiver, and their quarterback, the
Fowler
hyphenated man.
Nicolisi, yeah.
He
I know his name because he's hyphenated.
yes, because we know Ralph loves all hyphenated players. Um, so is that they have been like Colorado, like they're beyond Colorado level trash talk.
And they're doing it with like a calm face and calm demeanor. That's what makes the trash talk so funny. They're
Dude,
like,
I
"We
picked
should
them
have murdered
seven
them
and a
more
half.
year."
I picked them plus 7.5 this week, and all this trash talk makes me want to rescind that. Like I don't feel good about it at all. Like you're literally doing what Colorado does.
But if we can go back to Shilo Sanders for a second, because number one, I wish I knew who sent it. It's the funniest tweet I've seen all year. That somebody's basically said, like, we're gonna have to do a DNA check on Shiloh because he's not that good in coverage and he keeps blowing people up. It's the most anti-Deion Sanders thing ever. Like, but so you talked about Dante Dowdell, right?
Yeah.
So Shiloh Sanders goes out in the coin toss and he's like, "We're gonna roll your ass." And then Dante Dowdell breaks a run, like second play of the game.
Yep.
All he has to do is pivot right or left, and he scores a touchdown. That's it. That's it.
No,
He
he
was he
ran
was
through
in the
his
open field.
face.
Yeah. So then he said, "I saw Shiloh and I wanted to punish him." He broke that man's arm. Dante Dowdell broke that man's arm instead
Call
of
the
scoring a
police.
touchdown.
Call the police on Dante Dowell. That's assault. That is premeditated. That is premeditated. Sorry, Dante. You got to go to prison.
So I don't know. I like this Colorado team. They're entertaining. I'm going to watch every single one of their games. I'm certainly not going to root for Colorado State now that they're running away from Wyoming to join a fake new conference.
Oh
But
yes. Okay. Okay. So the last thing on this situation is the perfect timing. So there was another report that came out this week that Deion Sanders made sure that the band does not play after Shador throws a touchdown, the way they can play perfect timing on the PA. I hate.
I don't.
Huh?
You hate it? I don't
hate
mind it.
See, okay. I hate it because they're not winning at the level. Because now it makes me feel like and granted, I don't mind it because it's marketing, it's smart, it's all of those things. But also I hate it because when you're not winning, your offensive line ain't right, your defense ain't right. It feels like you're worried about all the wrong things.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I hate it. So like if they were, if they had went 8-4 last year and were projecting to be a 10-win team, I don't care. But the fact that
it is not just Shador though. They have a
so many
walk-up
other
song.
problems.
Yeah. They have a walk-up song for their kicker though. Like I love that.
Did you see the damn kicks?
Fun
Did you see the kicks? He don't need no walk-up song. He don't need no walk-up song with them kicks.
I think it's creative.
I thought they all got blocked. I thought they all got blocked the way that they came off his foot.
I'm not gonna hate on. It's like we I think we just hate different things about this Colorado team. But all the fun is cool as long as the band still gets to play, and it sounds like the band still gets to play. But you create the situation where Nebraska's dancing to his song in the locker room. I sent you that tweet this week where they said that Ty Robinson has that whole team tweeting Bible verses with the way his pass rush went against Shador. Like it, I don't know. I think all the attention is awesome. I want them to be good enough to stay relevant and not fall off like last year. This is our last little bit with Shador. But I will say that like I do want Torrey Horton to show up. He had 16 catches in last year's game. I want to see him do it again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they were a lot on unders and drags. So I mean, if Colorado allows him to run all them unders again and catch that many balls, they deserve whatever they get. But now the other thing is um yeah, the other thing is, oh, is the Pac-2. Lord have mercy. I was traveling yesterday. I couldn't pay attention, bro. And all of a sudden last night I'm on the Twitter machine and I'm like, "Wait, what? What did I miss all day?" That the Pac-2 is so I knew something was up last week when when the news broke that the Pac-2 was not re-signing with the Mountain West, all of this stuff. And then there was talks about them in the Big 12, them in the ACC. There was some noise about that. And I knew that they did not re-sign with a scheduling agreement with the Mountain West for a very specific reason. Like I knew that they just didn't just let the date pass. And no, I knew it was something very intentional. But when we find out that 4 schools, mind you, San Diego State tried to go to the Pac-12 once and then pulled out. Fresno State, Colorado State, and who's the fourth?
Boise.
Yes, Boise. So, and Boise, Fresno State, and Colorado State
yeah.
are very familiar playing the old Pac-12 teams. And
Yeah.
some people keep asking, why did they do this? This feels obvious to me because obviously the Pac-12 is trying to backfill its teams. But they also believe if you're a Mountain West school and you're making $2.5 million in TV revenue money, now you believe that that will increase and you can put like this is your way to backdoor into Power 5 territory because they've already talked about it. Like it's already been changed to Power 4 now, but adding more Group of 5 teams is not going to allow you to jump to Power 5 level, right? No matter what like if the SEC teams left and then you backfill it with G5 teams, that's not gonna automatically make it a Power 5 school. But check this out. So apparently the people who are now in charge of the Pac-2 are smarter than the last 2 people who were in charge of the Pac-12. Okay? Because they've already gotten people to join. They've gotten people to buy in, which the last 2 commissioners, the last commissioner, George Kliakoff, couldn't get people to fully buy in. And the previous commissioner, Larry Michael Scott, was incompetent. So the ACC implosion is happening. That's what I believe. It is happening. And then you're going to have, the Florida States, the Clemsons of the world, the Virginias. They're going to find North Carolina. They're going to find homes very quickly. There's going to be some Washington States and some Oregon States left out of like Wake Forest and, even Virginia. The rest of the Louisville, maybe the rest of the ACC, who doesn't necessarily have a big time, not even just fan base, but just marketable and all of those things. They need somewhere to go, Ralph. And the Pac-12 is going to be like, come on, baby, come on out here, because they still need at least 2 more teams. So let's say they get 6 up out of the ACC between this year and next year. Now you got at least 8 Power 5 schools in the conference, in a 12-team conference. Now it's not going to look as powerful, but they can go to the table then and be like, we Power 5. We need a college football playoff spot. So now when it expands to 14, slide on in there.
You're talking to me like you're trying to sell me an extended warranty. I'm not buying it. I don't understand why
the car warranty is almost up.
it sounds smooth the way you're saying it, but I don't see how the SEC or Big Ten is going to look at a Pac-12 spearheaded by Syracuse versus Fresno State and say, "Yeah, you guys belong," unless it'll stay a Power Four. You're saying the ACC is like dunzo. But I don't know. I just what didn't make sense to me is that the Mountain West didn't just negotiate to bring those two teams in and become the West Coast Conference. I don't I don't understand why the
They're trying to
Pac
keep
is going to
G5.
break up
They're trying
another.
to keep Power 5 status, Ralph. And the only way to do that, so you add Boise, who is competitive and they put a lot of guys in the NFL.
Right.
You're adding Fresno State, who puts guys in the NFL and is highly competitive too. And then if you can add those ACC teams and maybe like UTSA and Memphis is going to jump at the opportunity to get out of the American and potentially get into the P5.
I just want Colorado State to know that this is a market choice. They don't actually care about you. You're not good. You're not good at basketball. You're not good at football.
Is this a Wyoming thing like creeping out?
Yes. 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 Yes.
Why? I mean, maybe I'm missing something, but what is the issue?
Colorado State sucks at all the sports. And what did they do to
Why do
earn
you hate
a
Colorado
place?
State so much?
Well, I don't hate Colorado State so much. I've got family that went there. My best friend is a Colorado State graduate. I went and visited the campus on my own time for vacation. Fort Collins is a beautiful city. They objectively suck. Fresno State has been good. You know how you said Boise State's good. They put a lot of guys in the NFL. Fresno State's good. They put a lot of guys in the NFL. And then you stopped talking. Remember how that happened just now? It was like 5 seconds ago. I'm just finishing your sentence. Colorado State has done nothing as an institution to earn this. It's the market. It's the market that they're after. It's a
Sometimes
business
you get
decision.
lucky, man. Sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you get to ride other people's coattails.
It's not going to feel like luck when Oregon State's up 67-0 in the first half. It's not going to feel like luck at that point. It's going to feel like, oh, I should have maybe stayed where I could go 5-7.
Wow, guns are blazing. All right,
It's
speaking
true.
of
And
no, go on.
I didn't like you. This is how I felt when the Pac-12 broke up. When rivalry. We got the Apple Cup this week. We got the game formerly known as the Civil War this week. All because we're trying to preserve things that happened in a conference. The border war is important, and Colorado State has beaten Wyoming as much as Wyoming has beaten Colorado State, running away to a new conference over some money
What
for
if they keep the
athletics.
border war going?
They'll probably keep the border war going, but my issue is now you have a school with even more resources that didn't do anything to be part of it. I don't have an issue with Fresno State. I don't have an issue with Boise State. I was arguing for San Diego State and Boise State to be part of the Pac-12 to save the Pac-12.
That wasn't they weren't going to be able to save the Pac-12, bro. They weren't
You
going to
know
be
the
able to help at all.
do you watch Multiplicity with Michael Keaton,
Yep.
where they just make a copy of a copy and it drags the whole situation down?
Yes.
That's Colorado State. What does
Yes, like you
Colorado
can't
State
make a
do for
copy
the
of a
new
copy.
Pac-12?
Like you got to keep copying the original. Because when you keep
You're
copying the copy, it gets fuzzy. It's not as clear and weird stuff
Did they
happens.
say like we're going to be a power conference, so we need our Vanderbilt? Is that what they're trying to do here? I just don't understand. And I'm not saying that I want Wyoming to go instead. I want the Mountain West to stay intact. I'm a Mountain West fan. This is my two favorite conferences breaking up in back-to-back years. This sucks so much.
Hey man,
But I would have taken breaking up the Mountain West to save the Pac-12.
it couldn't save the Pac-12. They needed to
If
go
George
back and get
Kliavkoff
Texas
had,
and Oklahoma. They needed a time machine.
yeah. All right, well, this isn't going to work, and now I sound like a grouch. But it's I
Yes,
don't
get off. Get off my
You see
lawn,
the
guy.
vision. You see the vision. You see a bi-coastal conference. I just see the Mountain West suffering for no reason.
Yeah. Okay, so speaking of that and conferences breaking up, give us an update on this lawsuit and this Big Ten lawsuit and Florida State are arguing for sovereign immunity against the ACC.
So there's two lawsuits going on right now. One is a series of lawsuits of Florida State throwing absolutely everything they can at the wall just to get out of their ACC deal. Um, I mean, it's just like you see those old shows of like where lawyers just keep filing motions just to file motions,
Yes.
just to muck things up. Florida State has been doing that, and the current argument they've settled on. I'm not a legal mind and I'm not a legal scholar, but sovereign immunity is currently the what Florida State is trying to pursue to void this deal, and essentially what it's and somebody with some more knowledge of law, please reach out to us. I'm mad at unafraidshow.com. We'll read this on the show. But from my understanding, sovereign immunity is what would legally, in pre-America times, in a monarchy, give the king the right to do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Which means if the king breaks a contract, that's fine because he's the king, right? This is America. We don't we don't have a king. We laughed at Richard Nixon when he said it's not illegal when a president does it, right? Like sovereign immunity, the idea that Florida State can get out of any contract because they're their own sovereign being would nullify any and all contracts
Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna win
for
that one.
everybody.
If they win that one, that's gonna throw a monkey wrench in everything.
They're doing the selfish kid's prayer from the where the sidewalk ends. The now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep, and if I die before I wake, I pray the Lord my toys to break, so none of the other kids can play with them. They said like we're going to get out of this contract with some prima nocta year 1200 stuff, and
Yeah.
then everyone's going to be able to get out of their contract just so we can get
They
what we want.
don't they
But there's
don't
not.
care. They do not all they want is out. They don't care what they break along the way. Yeah.
That is
They,
true. And
they're
so
not
this
worried.
Big Ten lawsuit, I'm interested because these feel like your peers. Wondering if you're planning on filing any lawsuits that you can cut me in on. Four prominent former Michigan football players have filed a class action lawsuit against the NCAA and the Big Ten Network, seeking a payment of $50 million for the wrongful continued use of their name, image, and likeness on television. We're talking about Braylon Edwards. We're talking about Denard Robinson, Michael Martin, and Sean Crable. 73-page lawsuit going after the Big Ten and the NCAA, saying you cannot continue to market us without paying us. What could be the long reaching consequences of this lawsuit? Could the NCAA lose the right to using anybody's lawsuit or anybody's likeness to promote college football?
Yeah, I do think that this is a like I'm a for the players kind of guy, right?
Yeah.
And I do understand that rules have changed recently and that feels uncomfortable to older players who are like, yo, like that's taking advantage of me. And I'm not there. So I want to be careful how I phrase this because there does need to be some sort of resolution to using somebody's name, image, and likeness to promote things. But I do think that there is a level of like fair use, right?
Yes.
That the school, because you played there, should have fair use of like the imagery from when you're playing in the game, right? But using your image on like a advertisement, like something that they were paid for, is not the same thing as putting out a social media video or even a billboard that has you in it. I think that there's a big difference between those two things. That if Coca-Cola pays Oregon and Oregon puts a, a video, oh well, actually, and they put a picture of George Rice, like this is specifically George Ricer, not George Ricer catching a ball in the middle of a game and we're all celebrate, like, you know what I mean? I think that that's different than using a specific person's name, image, and likeness for your financial gain.
Yeah.
That like in-game stuff, video, all of that stuff, I think it's fair use. Whereas, just them putting up a picture of USC using Reggie Bush and his Heisman Trophy win as part of something that they're getting paid for, that's not cool.
Man, that makes me want to deviate from the subject real quick. Would you have retired Caleb Williams' jersey and Reggie Bush's jersey in the same press release as USC just did? Or would you maybe have waited a year on Caleb?
Okay, so I wouldn't have done it in the same press release because I would have wanted to give them their own moment, right?
Yeah.
I might have done it in the same season, but here's a piece of breaking news here. Breaking news here on the Unafraid Show. College football and positive. USC was trying to retire Caleb Williams' jersey last year while he was still playing because they put all the Heisman Trophy winners in the stadium with their jersey retired, okay? So they wanted to retire his jersey last year. Caleb Williams said no.
Interesting.
But do you know why?
Because they already
that you think.
Because they already weren't using pads in practice and he didn't want to lose his shirt too?
No.
Okay, just guessing.
It is because last season, so they wanted to retire it prior to the season last year. His attempt was to do what last year?
To go back to back.
Win a second Heisman Trophy, right?
Yeah.
So he wanted to, so his thing was don't retire it now. If I win again, then retire it and make it a different color than everybody else's.
Wild. That's wild. I don't.
But I'm not mad at it. Like you know, I will criticize Caleb or for the crying in the stands. But I'm not mad at the fact that he was like, if I win a second one, yes, it should be a different color because I am now above OJ and Matt Leinart and Carson Palmer and Reggie Bush and Marcus Allen and Charles White and everybody else. I am above them because I got not one but two. And yes, his should be gold while everybody else's was cardinal. Or
what do we find out? That the reason he's crying after the game is because his plan was ruined. You know what?
Where's watching my gold jersey.
Watching Caleb on Hard Knocks, it made it really clear that some of the stuff that he says is just spitballing. Like you're in a pitch room, there are no bad ideas. Because he's sitting on the floor talking to, I don't know if it was Matt Eberflus or the OC, and he was like, if they put flag football in the Olympics, I'm playing. And I'm like, sitting in my living room, I'm like, no, you're not. You can't just do whatever you want. And that's what he was saying. He's like, this is my idea. And to watch him express that idea, it was like, oh, maybe some of the stuff that's been attributed to him was just stuff he said out loud. Yeah, not even necessarily
like, let's see what happens.
Yeah, like there are no bad ideas.
What's the worst thing that happens? Did they say no? I'm Caleb. The majority of things that I want happen.
Yeah, he talks like a Mr. Beast or something. Like, well, what if we filled a 27,000 gallon swimming pool with Jello and put $100,000 at the bottom of it? Like, that doesn't mean that that's going to happen. If you have the means to do it, some of those ideas are just going to happen. But people have bad ideas every single day. So
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
can't even
I feel like people
imagine
maybe
what
get too
has
hard on.
ended up on the cutting room floor of Mr. Beast.
Oh, for sure. And it's probably all for different legal reasons. But like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Caleb Williams is maybe just an idea guy, and he doesn't have a lot of people in his life to be like, no, 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 we're not doing that. But now that you're in the NFL, it kind of has to go that way. But so this lawsuit, back to the Big Ten lawsuit, do you think it has any standing? And do you think it would have far-reaching effects for the way that people use legends, the likeness of the legends of the past?
Yes, dude, this will open up Pandora's box, buddy. Pandora's box is going to be open in a way that we have never seen. Like if they win this, it is going and they actually win money as opposed to change. It's gonna create like I don't know how the NCAA or like goes forward. And I'm not talking about just in football because we've already said that football needs to break away and be its own thing. But I don't know how it continues. I don't know how amateur athletics continues with with because then if they win, you're gonna have you're gonna have players, families, Archie Griffin's family, and everybody else coming like, "Hey, yo, where's our money, fam?"
Yeah, I would say this. I think I'm a little confused by suing the conference. I'm pretty much pro anybody suing the NCAA for any reason, even if there is no standing at all. Um, make their life hard. That's fine. I learned this last week about some of the stuff the NCAA did to Mississippi State over the years. Oh my god, dude!
What?
Like, just reinforce that this is an evil organization. So in the 1970s, they had 19 wins stripped because they had a player get a 20% discount on some clothing at at a store on
No,
campus.
no. I
And
mean,
so
I absolutely believe the NCAA did this, but because he got a 20% discount.
you got a 20% discount. So, and get ready for the twist. So at that time, you were allowed to file an appeal and then take the gamble of playing that player if you thought you were going to win the appeal. So that next year, they play that player that they had all that had the previous year's wins stripped. So they're in an appeal situation, and the owner of the store is just like, "Hey, just call me to testify. This was available to every student. It wasn't special for athletes. It was available to every single student. Just call me to testify." The NCAA would not listen to the store owner, would never called him to testify. The appeal got denied. What they had already played that full second season, which was like a 9-win team. They took away all 9 wins in the future. So they cost them a prior season and a future season over a 20% discount that the store owner says belonged to everybody. Then in the 90s, Mississippi State fired a coach over some improper benefit type thing. And that coach spent 15 years fighting the NCAA over that, only to have the NCAA end up reaching a settlement with him and paying him after besmirching his name and costing him his career. So, like, some of the stuff that they've done to Mississippi State over the years, crazy stuff. I didn't even know about it, and and I just so anything bad that happens to NCAA as an organization is at this point fine. And I'm gonna be honest, I got a couple of friends that work for the NCAA, and I apologize to them. They're talented people; they could work anywhere. But I'm perfectly fine with the NCAA just being tied up in legal red tape after they spent $100 million to fight NIL, did nothing to set up unifying rules and set us into the path that we're in right now, that has old people blaming the culture and running away from college football completely, giving up the sport because the NCAA wasn't a leader on this issue. It has them blaming the schools and the players, calling them greedy. No one ever had a problem with the NCAA's enormous growth as an organization. Nobody ever had a problem with administrators and coaches exponentially increasing their salary 7x over the 20 years from 1997 to 2017. Nobody ever had a problem with that. But the second that a player is allowed to endorse Bojangles, then we have an issue. So I death to the NCAA as far as I'm concerned. I didn't used to be in that camp. I used to be all about like, well, it's case by case, it's moderation. But at this point, Braylon Edwards, good luck, buddy. Take him down.
All right. How about this company? How about this company? Do they deserve to be taken down? Because you brought up a story to me that I had not heard about, and this is from Purdue. So Purdue. So there was this kid named Zachary Spangler, and he won the Kicks for Cash competition during the Purdue Boilermakers season opener against Indiana State by successfully kicking a 20, 30, and 40-yard field goal. He won a 2-year lease on a car. However, the sponsoring dealership, Rohrman Automotive, revoked his prize after it claimed the kick 40-yard field goal 5/100ths of a second later than the time limit after reviewing the footage. 5/100ths? That's not even a tenth of a second, because 5/10ths of a second is half a second. 5/100ths of a second from when his foot impacted the ball, like that's less time than what that's about what Noah Lyles won the Olympics by. And we're talking about like a kick. That means the ball has to deflate and reflate and get off his foot and everything. This is nasty work. I would never buy a car from these people. Never. I hope that every single person who saw that and now knows that they called it back on this 2-year lease, I hope they go out of business. I hope nothing but the bad things happen for this company, not just the people who work there who are innocent and they're going to be innocent victims of this. Do the right thing and you can take this hex up off you. You do not get good things in life like just ridiculously being evil. Like this is evil. And they're like, oh my God. It's just like, didn't we see a half court shot thing where the guy had like his foot took off behind the line, but he released it right in front of the line. They were like, if we look at it from this angle, his arm was. It's everybody knows it's where your foot releases where your foot goes. In the NBA, it's a 3-pointer. If you take off from behind the 3-point line and you are Giannis and you can lay the ball up, it's still 3 points. This is ridiculously ticky-tack. It was a marketing play to begin with. You had to be okay with paying it out. It's not $1 million. Stop it. This is gross. This is nasty. They need to be shamed for this. And just so everybody knows, so y'all can spell it, so you can Google it. It is Trey Rohrman, ROHRMAN. I hope I pronounced that right. The director of operations for Bob Rohrman Honda notified Spangler that he would not be receiving the 2-year lease in an email. He freaking emailed him. Didn't even pick up the damn phone. Like, first, yes, I know for legal reasons you may have to email too, but pick up the damn phone. And the email included 4 different angles showing him kicking with a timer at the bottom of the screen. And it said the clip showed the holder placing the ball with 1.5 seconds remaining, and then him connecting with the kick as it closed in on 0. And then the dude replied, listen, I got a car here that runs just fine. I'm just more upset about how I hit the 40-yarder, and they're saying I didn't because it came off my foot 5/100ths of a second late. Oh, Ralph, you know how timers and sync ups work. It don't matter. I am finding the best lawyer available, and they're going down. like so.
What is it? So you got people involved in car dealerships and stuff, right? That like, what does a 2-year lease at cost even cost a car dealership?
For a Honda, so like let's say it's like a Honda Accord or something. One of them 349
$12K?
for Yeah, from one of them like 349, 399, 450 lease specials. So now we got and that's at cost. I'm sorry, that's the retail value of it. Let's say it's 450 bucks on the max times 24. That's 10,800 bucks.
When what they could have done is they could have brought that kid in, did a commercial like, you know, kick you into spring savings or something like that and call it even.
Yes. Yes. You come listen, bro, it's a little bit past, but here's what we do. If you come film this commercial for us, you know, take this lease. It's good marketing for everybody.
Right. And and like here's the other thing. So the thing you brought up, a Ball State student's $10,000 half court shot was voided. Um, so it was an arena worker. He hit the shot. A staff member informed him he had crossed the line on the shot pending a review. He may not receive the money at all. Started a whirlwind couple of weeks that kind of like brought up all the issues of the third party paid stuff, the fact that these prize money things are insured. Um, and what ultimately happened is they like I think they ended up Ball State ended up like meeting them halfway and giving him the prize. Um, and they gave the guy the $10,000, but there had to be public pressure first,
Yeah.
obviously, because these insurance companies
Yes.
that are insure the prizes, they they're the ones that didn't want to pay it out. This is the car dealership directly.
Shame. 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 All right, speaking of some more shame, this is something else that you brought to my attention. How do you find all of these things on the interweb? So there was an ACC coin that was cuz who was it that tweeted it out?
Let me see if I can find that for you.
It's in our
It
DMs.
was okay. So Eric Wood, E Wood 70 says a buddy's son got this coin after the coin toss at the Louisville football game Saturday from the head referee. I'm not sure I agree with the tails image. And if you ever like, I've met a few refs, Pac-12 refs, stuff like that. They have some of these coins they just carry around in their
So,
pockets.
so here is the coin. On the front end, nice helmet, old school football helmet, Atlantic Coast Conference. It looks like an old antiquated coin, like something that you would get, nothing fancy or detailed at all on the front end. Now, on the back end, it is a player on his back, legs up
I
in
think
the.
I think the coin's upside down. I think it's supposed to be a center hiking the ball. I think the coin in the photo is upside down.
Well, it doesn't look like that because of the goalpost in the back. Hold on. Let me flip this over on my computer because I don't know about I don't know about this, Ralph. Let me uh rotate left, rotate left. Okay. Let's save that image there. And now let's put this one here. Okay.
This guy,
So is that better? Is that better?
no, it's not better. It looks like a Shannon Sharp challenge coin, but like
Dude,
it's not.
but why the detail on the butt crack? Like that's the
I don't
like
know.
you see so many muscles on the leg. Like why the detail on the butt crack? This is ridiculous.
You didn't know the ACC stood for Ass Coast Conference or Ass Crack, Ass Crack Conference?
That,
Here,
that
hey,
was
to our
they
minters,
should change their name to the taint.
the minters and the coin makers out there, heads and tails. You don't have to be literal on this. It could be anything. On the tails end of a coin, you could just write the word tails. We,
Dude,
we don't
I
need this.
I just want to know who looked at that coin and was like, "Yeah, that's it right there." Yeah. I
Oh, I
approve.
know. Whoever looked at that coin and said, "Yeah, this is it right there," licked their lips afterward.
You're like, yeah, yeah.
I'm trying to see what that be like.
I'm trying to see what that be like. All right. All right. Now it is time for serious business, people. Serious business. Because we got to. Oh, no. Sorry. We got one more thing. So, Thomas Hammock, head coach of NIU, he went into Notre Dame Stadium, beat Marcus Freeman, got Notre Dame people Hulk Hogan and spraying up on the wall. You know what they want to say from now on. And so they're hot at Marcus Freeman. This is third, not his first, not his second, but his third unranked non-conference loss at home when Brian Kelly was on a 40-game winning streak. So he's lost to Stanford, who was 3-9, Marshall, and now this NIU game. And then to make it even worse, what Hammock did, just it made the loss worse. Because he got a lot of media attention. He's a running back coach, made a head coach. That don't happen very often. And then everything goes well. And then he throws Marcus Freeman under the bus. Because
I don't know if that's
dude. This is it may have been unintentional, but this was terrible. This is a terrible look for Marcus Freeman. And what happened is Marcus Hammock said what, Ralph?
So according to Pardon My Take podcast with Dan Katz and PFT commentator, Thomas Hammock offered to tell Marcus Freeman what the keys to beating Notre Dame were, and then the two actually did talk. And what Thomas Hammock said is like, I want that man to succeed. So of course I'm gonna have this conversation with him, help him out. Yeah, I don't know. And I was like, oh, that's so wholesome. And I showed you the story and you were like, what the hell?
Don't say that out loud. No,
Okay.
man, because now it looks like Marcus Freeman is incompetent instead of smart. Because truth is, Marcus Freeman is smart for asking him, like, yo, bro, what did you see on film that you felt like you could exploit? Because I need to know. Because our offense looks bad. Notre Dame's defense is clearly good. They shut down Texas A&M. They didn't allow very much out of NIU either. So their defense is doing a good job. It's their offense that's a problem. So it's right for him to ask that. But the problem is that don't say it out loud, black man, about another black. You know how hard it is for them to get head coaching jobs to begin with? And now they're going to have these Notre Dame folks who already got their pitchforks out talking about he don't know what he's doing.
All right. I personally, I thought it was like a wholesome, cool story. Then again, I'm a high school football reporter. What do I know? My favorite thing in the world is when after the game, everybody shakes hands in a line and one coach looks at the other coach and says, thank you for making us better today. Win or loss. Like the whole point was to
That's so cute.
Shut up.
Oh, that's so cute. Hey. Freaking Pollyanna.
It's not Pollyanna. It's not Pollyanna. I get that there's tens of millions of dollars at stake at the collegiate level, but at the end of the day, not to quote the NCAA, but most of these kids are going pro in something other than sports. These are tests. They're out there testing themselves. The results are the results. And at the end of the game, it's not your enemy. It's not your enemy, right?
And then if you're NIU, I'm not calling him no more. Nope.
But if you're NIU, what is your stake in wanting Notre Dame beyond just wanting Marcus Freeman to be successful as an individual? Why do you want Notre Dame to go win out?
Oh, because it
if
makes
you're
you
NIU,
look
why do you want that?
And now you get to make the college football playoff.
Exactly. So this isn't even like it's not even just a matter of like, you know, I'm just out there helping my brother. And then when you tell people like, why does your brother need help? He's at Notre Dame. Like that, it doesn't need to set people off. It's that If NIU keeps winning, it's good for Notre Dame. And if Notre Dame keeps winning, it's good for NIU. So you should want Marcus Freeman to succeed if you are Thomas Hammock, period. Because right now, NIU is one of like 5 teams that probably has a legitimate shot with their resume that if they run off 11 wins to be the representative.
I don't want his help no more. I don't want it. I don't want it because I don't know. I don't know what else you're gonna say to the media because I don't know what
You
else.
know what? When next year Thomas Hammock is shaking the athletic director at Notre Dame's hand, like accepting the job
As offensive coordinator.
as head coach or as head coach,
No, he ain't getting that
you don't
job.
want that
Marcus
nasty,
Freeman
nasty
ain't
word.
getting fired, but he might be the OC next year. That's what he might be. Damn.
Well, shout out to Thomas Hammock. I just want to give him a shout out because you and I talked about this off air. Running backs coaches, they don't get opportunities like that. They really don't. And he was like a lifelong running backs coach, like so many of these running backs coaches are. He's with the Baltimore Ravens. He went to NIU. He gets the head coaching job. And I just want to say, like, some of these running backs coaches that you have pigeonholed into this job, they could run an offense. They could run a team. They absolutely can do these things. And it's cool to see Thomas Hammock representing for guys like Sean Iguano, who got an opportunity at ASU for a minute, or just people who are in that role who deserve a shot, who deserve an opportunity to do more than just coach that position.
Facts. All right, now we got to get into the serious business. It's the money and the picks and being right. Where are we at right now with our picks, Ralph? Because remember, just so you guys know, Unafraid Show daily, Unafraid Show picks. I put them out every single week. Right, last year we were around 70%. This year we are at 50% so far. Thanks Cam Rising for getting hurt, and thanks who else? Texas Tech.
Your boys,
Whole
Texas
team getting hurt, can't cover the over. And then the week before it was that Stanford backdoor useless field goal. So we're dialed in. We are dialed in on the picks. We just gotta stop letting stupid ish happen at weird times.
So you have 2 separate things going on at the same time. You have your picks that you put out from Unafraid Show, like, subscribe, share on YouTube, and then we have our contest that is between the two of us. So you're 5-5 in your picks. In our contest, you started off 2-3 in week 1. I went 4-1, but it was a matter of a couple of. I'm not even trying to be nice. It was a matter of just a couple of plays that made that whole thing happen. So here's the issue. I know 3 of the games that we bet on last week. I'm spacing 2 of them. We were both at one point. We were both 2-1 because, and I don't want anybody to go back to last week's show and clip it. Please don't. I've never been more forceful about anything in my life than Colorado covering against Nebraska. I was aggressive. Aggressive.
All right, so I got him, Ralph. I got him.
Oh, do we? Okay. So I know at one point we were both 2-1, and then when that Colorado result happened, I just kind of sunk into myself and stopped paying attention to all college football, because I was like, oh my God. I was like, there is no way. This is the most absolute I've ever been on this show.
So we had. Okay, so I have the games that I put on the thing. So the ones for the picks were Michigan, Texas, Michigan, Iowa State, Cal, Auburn, Tennessee, North Carolina State, Nebraska, Colorado, right?
Okay, so then you went 3-2 in those games because you were on Tennessee.
Yep.
You were on Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
And you were on Texas.
And no. I was on Cal. Yeah. So
you didn't take Auburn to cover the 13.5?
No, I don't think so. I thought no. I'm pretty sure I picked Cal.
All right, we'll put that one under review.
But I lost the Iowa game though, I think.
You actually, if I remember correctly, you said you wanted to go with Iowa State, and then you never made a pick. So I wrote you down as Iowa State,
Oh, nice,
but I
nice.
don't
That's a
remember.
good week then.
Yeah,
That's a good week.
I gave you Iowa State on the technicality that you never finished your sentence. I think I cut you off.
Ooh, perfect. See, I love it. See, you're
So you're
you're you're a
welcome.
good guy, honorable guy, Ralph.
I'll get
Honorable
the
man.
totals and I'll tweet them out. I knew that we were 2-1, then the Colorado thing happened. And I went to a real dark place. But we both had Tennessee.
All right.
We we
So,
we did both have Tennessee though.
mhm.
I for sure had Cal. I know that. I even
Yep.
tweeted out the video to prove I was smart to cover up for the Colorado stink. But I'll make sure we have the numbers right, but I believe it's possible we both went 4-1.
Okay, cool. Perfect. All right. Now let's go with this week. Are you ready, Ralph?
I am.
Are you ready? Because we have the games of the week, and we won't just go with all the games that we picked on the Unafraid show. So Alabama, Wisconsin. This
Okay.
is a game these teams have never met in the same in the non-conference in Camp Randall, which is honestly one of the best college football environments that there is. I got a chance to play there, loved it. And we are going to see if this Alabama team that got it going in the second half against UCF is really that team, or whether they are, or whether they're the team that struggled for 3 quarters. And Alabama is -16. Who you taking?
Alabama. Roll Tide, I guess. Because the one thing that would keep Wisconsin in the game and covering this spread is the one thing they have failed to do in the first 2 weeks. They have not run the ball with any authority at all.
Yep.
I'm a Tui Walker fan. I thought he was going to be a great transfer in from Oklahoma, but I think the issue is the holes they're opening up. It's not enough. So I'm going to go with Alabama just because I remember the Kalen DeBoer at
Alabama don't go
Indiana
on the
days.
road though. Alabama does not go on the road very often. Like their non-conference games are usually neutral site games. So this is
That's true.
stressful.
This is the Kalen DeBoer, Alabama, and I remember him in the Big Ten. He had Indiana looking like what's that college your daughter went to?
LMU. Oh,
Yeah, he had Indiana looking like LMU putting up Paul Westhead numbers.
yeah.
Like he had them averaging over 30 in conference. Indiana. So I think he understands the Big Ten. I don't think he ever went head to head with Wisconsin. But again, if this Wisconsin team can't run the ball, I'm going to go with Alabama.
Ooh.
But we have to get your pick on record. I can't cut you off like I did last week.
I want to take Alabama to pull away late, but I'm gonna be a contrarian here. I think that Wisconsin's been holding something in the bag, and that their fans and the environment, if they can jump up early and go up 7-10-0, then we got a shot to keep this thing close. Aside from that, Alabama could run away with it, but I'm taking Wisconsin only because they're playing in Camp Randall, and that is a crazy environment, and it might cause Alabama to get off to a slow start.
Okay.
All right. Next game up. Boy, oh boy. The team that we just talked about. We talked about their media marketing people needing to be shamed for their third party car dealership, and Notre Dame. So you got Notre Dame visiting Purdue. Notre Dame's a 9.5-point favorite. Purdue's only played one game so far this year, and they beat Indiana State 49-0. And Notre Dame's obviously 1-1. NIU is the loss. Texas A&M is the win. So now they're back on the road. They gotta be mad. But being mad don't fix bad offense.
Man, it's a road game. You're still in Indiana. Gosh, what is the history of is this a matchup that takes place all the time, kind of like Notre Dame USC, or
Notre Dame plays Big Ten teams and ACC teams every year.
okay, here we are. It's 57-26. This game got
That's a
played
lot of
last
games.
year. This game got played 3 years ago. Notre Dame won by 14 in Marcus Freeman's first year, and then before that, they went about 7, 8 years without playing. So Notre Dame has won, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in a row, but 2 of those wins were vacated. Um, pretty much every single one of them was yeah. I mean, I don't see anything in Purdue that I'm looking at right now that I think they're going to compete with the big boys this year. The Indiana State result can be so deceptive because we talked about it on last week's show. You asked me who I thought the most overrated team was so far, and I was like, well, Mississippi State. They dropped 50 against Eastern Kentucky, but they're not good. And then at one point they were down 30-3 to Arizona State. I feel the same way about Purdue. Give me the Fighting Irish.
Riley Leonard has not thrown a single touchdown through 2 games, and he's rushed for 1.
He's about to get the JJ McCarthy treatment from you, is he? This man does not throw touchdowns.
Yeah, but he's thrown 2 picks.
Okay.
I
And I think he's hurt too.
listen. They might need to roll somebody else out there. I don't know what it is. He has not been good. Like maybe it's because he's hurt, something else. Notre Dame on the road. I'm God. I'm hoping against hope against a
George, you're forgetting. Thomas Hammock talked to Marcus Freeman this week, so it's all going to be fine.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, everything's better now. All right, so okay, that made me feel better. Not really, but Notre Dame minus 9.5.
Okay.
That didn't
Thank
make
you,
me feel
Thomas
better at
Hammock.
all. Okay. Ooh, I got one for you here. This is a tricky one because this team is ranked number 5 in the nation in Ole
Mm-hmm.
Miss, and they have won a combined 128-3 over their first 2 weeks against FCS Furman and then Middle Tennessee State. And they're playing Wake Forest, who lost to Virginia last week 31-30. North Carolina A&T they beat 45-13. And now Ole Miss heads to Winston-Salem to a Legacy Federal Credit Union Stadium as 22.5-point favorites. I'm taking the home team. Give me the Demon Deacons plus 22.5.
I am with you on this. I'm a Hank Bachmeier fan. He played out there in SoCal where you could see him. He was a
Wait,
four-star.
Hank said Wake Forest?
Yeah, man.
Where'd he go first?
Well, he was at Boise.
Okay, yes. That's where it was. I was
He
like,
was at
what?
Boise. He's one of those ones that's been in college football since before the pandemic.
Yeah.
It's been a while. He was Zach Hill. Like, think about it this way: Zach Hill coached Hank Bachmeier at Boise State. Zach Hill has since worked at Arizona State, coached a high school championship, and now works for the Seattle Seahawks. Hank Bachmeier still doing it. If you're into like numerology and stuff, hide your eyes. But Hank Bachmeier has 666 passing yards this year, 4 touchdowns. He has been sacked a bunch, but he's a gamer. I don't think he's going to be somebody who's surprised by anything he sees on the defensive side. I do think that they will score. That I might go to that game. I might
See,
go. That's not that far of a drive from here.
here's the thing. These SEC teams outside of Texas and Georgia, when they've played anybody with a pulse, all of a sudden them 60-point wins just fly out the window. It's gonna happen
Yeah.
again in this game.
And even you look at like a 45-24 or something like that, that does not cover. So
Yep.
let's go. Demon Deacons.
All right.
Demon Deacons, 666 yards passing.
Weird. All right. Georgia, Kentucky. Georgia is favored. Georgia minus 24. The game is at Kroger Field in Lexington, Kentucky.
Moment of silence for Brock Vandegrift. Do we think he has any shot whatsoever to show his old team that they should have done more to keep him?
No, because they got Carson Beck, and Carson Beck looks really good. So no, they're not missing him, not even a little bit.
I feel bad. I do. I feel bad for Kentucky. They were in a situation where I think they thought they were going to lose their head coach. And I think that they had made peace with it. Or at least a lot of Kentucky fans had made peace with it. And that did not happen. And Stoops returns, and then they just get absolutely worked at South Carolina last week, who does not have an offense. They really don't. Yeah. And if South Carolina could cover that 24 without an offense, imagine what Georgia's going to do.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
And this game's going to be on ABC. Like, people without cable could watch what's about to happen. It's all. I think it's going to be real bad in favor of Georgia.
Yep. All right. This one, the Memphis Tigers at Florida State. Florida State's favored by 6.5. Ryan Silverfield, Memphis' head coach, his mentor, Mike Norvell over at Florida State. So this is the point where your idols become your rivals, and then you got to AI them for survival. So if you're Ryan Silverfield and you go down to Doak Campbell Stadium in Tallahassee and you got him on the ropes, right? Because remember, Memphis is fighting for a college football playoff spot.
Yeah.
If you get him on the ropes and you get a chance to win by 30 or you can win by like 15, which one are you doing? He got to take this 30 piece, fam. Like, he got to understand he would do it to me. And Ryan Silverfield, as much, because I've talked to the dude, as much as he loves being in Memphis, I think he wants to make Memphis something very special. If you think that if Missouri comes calling,
no,
or
I'm asking
Oklahoma comes calling, or Florida comes calling, that's hard to turn down. And this is how you get them jobs.
If Memphis wins by 30, the coaches just board the opposite bus. Everybody's happy.
And because Norvell still has some Memphis swag in his closet, so he can just.
Yeah, I mean, it's essentially his system. He'd go back home.
Houses.
He won like a couple of 10 win seasons back to back out there, right?
Yep. So do you,
they just
switch houses, switch paychecks, like a trading places?
Yes. Yeah, except they don't even have to do like the Freaky Friday lightning strike. They just board the ops. They switch jack. They do a jersey swap, like Grady Dick did. They do a jersey swap.
Black Dick. Oh.
NSFW, college football apostle.
That was about Grady Dick and the other player in the NBA when they swapped jerseys. They did that on purpose, but that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. A Grady Dick jersey swap right at midfield post game, and then they just board the opposite bus. Florida State fans they'll be like, all right, we'll see how we look the rest of the season. Memphis will certainly be happy. What do you think?
All right, so
but what? No, but
6.5 points. 6.5 points.
Give me Florida State.
Florida State gotta win this game, bro.
Yep. Yeah.
And they gotta win it by a touchdown. They have to. I'm taking Florida State. This is why I wouldn't bet on this game because I this feels nasty, bro. Mm-mm. No, 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 no. No, no,
Do
no.
you think if they come out in the first quarter and can't, and I don't even feel like this is a fair question because I don't feel like they've used DJU like that. But if they come out and the passing game just isn't there early on, do you think that there's a chance they might
Yes.
sit him down?
Yes. Yes.
Oof.
Yes. Regardless of whether it's his fault or not, the quarterback gets more blame than he should and more credit than he should. So, yep. So that's what it is, man. That's what it is. It stinks, but you know, this is the world that we live in the world of college football. All right, the last game up, and this one is obviously near and dear to my heart. The Oregon Ducks, minus 16 and a half at Oregon State. Give me the Ducks for the same reason why Ralph did last week with Iowa State. Ducks got to get it together. It's not even like they're losing, but they got to play better. They got to get it together. Give me the Ducks, fam.
Yeah, I mean, you specifically told me that my logic for picking Iowa State was ridiculous, but I appreciate you seeing you over on my side of the fence on this one. I looked real deep into this game and I want to be on your side here, but Giovanni McCoy he's real.
Yeah, I've known the kid since before he left out of high school because him and Damon used to work out together with Sam Fisher over at Throw to Win. Yeah, the kid
He's
has the
not
moxie. He's got the right attitude to be able to win a game like this. Not only play well, but win a game like this. And Oregon's defense has been pretty good this year. Their offense has been inconsistent. They've had big plays, and they got to get some consistency out of the offensive line. You're going to see more combinations this week. I feel good, Ralph. I actually feel good. I don't know whether it's homerism in here or whether it's just hope.
Yeah, well, Oregon State was good last year. Oregon beat them what, 31-7?
Yeah.
So that, I mean, you could see a repeat of that. The more I looked into Giovanni McCoy, the more it's like, oh, when he gets sacked, it doesn't do anything to his momentum, to his mindset, nothing. He's pretty good at avoiding the pass rush. I don't think you can do that against Oregon. I think he's going to get got 4 or 5 times at least. But it doesn't take him out of his rhythm. And because of that, I think they might be able to keep this one close. Hiring Trent Bray means that they didn't lose a lot of their defensive playmakers, and they have the ability to run the ball and still.
Yep.
And so I don't know. I like Oregon State not to win, but to keep it close. I think it could look like that Idaho score.
Ooh, nice. I'll take it. And so that's all 5 games for this week. And the end of Unafraid Show College Football Apostles. You guys make sure that you guys tune in, tell a friend about the show. Peace out, and we will catch you guys next week.